And sisters in Jesus Christ, once a student was arguing with the professor, I cannot believe in God anymore. And the professor said, yes, you should not believe in God any longer. Then the student asked, what? Why? Then he said, yes, you should not believe in God because you believe in God, a distorted God, idea of God, a distorted idea of God. So my dear friends, you have to reject the incorrect idea or the image of God. True God, you have to believe and not subjective. So if you want to know true God, you have to turn to Jesus Christ. That's what exactly Jesus is asking us today. So today you should ask yourself, what is your idea or image of God? There are a lot of wrong notions about God himself, like about punishment. We think that God is punishing, God is mean to people. Sometimes we put our ideas in the head of God. So these are some of the things we need to transform and have a correct image of God. And how do we do that? Only when you know the theology, the right doctrine of the church. So we should learn about it. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, the sacred scriptures, and the teaching. That's why Acts 2:42 talks about the first Christian community was together in the apostolic teaching. They were gathering every day at the houses to listen to the apostles. And we have in John 14:9, whoever has seen me has seen the Father. Jesus tells us, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. The church door in Cologne, Germany, has 4 decorated panels, I am told. The first panel is changing of the water into wine, that is Cana. The second panel was two loaves and 5 fish. That's where Jesus fed 5,000 people. So he makes promise of the food that you'll not hungry again, eternal food. And the Last Supper, the third panel was the Last Supper, where he fulfills this promise. Take this bread and eat, and take this wine and drink, take this blood and drink. So prefigured, so Jesus, then the fourth one is Emmaus event, where Jesus is in the breaking of the bread. So we have what is prefigured at Cana, that is the water turning into wine, and then promised at Capernaum, where 5,000 were fed, and instituted at Jerusalem and celebrated at Emmaus. So my dear friends, Mark Twain says we should have experienced Jesus in the Eucharist. And talking about experience, he speaks, if your little boy wants to carry home a cat by the tail, I say let him, because that experience will teach him more than 1,000 words of warning. That's why we tell sometimes, hard way is to learn from experience by making mistakes. And bad experiences like drugs, alcohol, or something to teach anybody. But good experiences also, same way. Example, rain. I speak so much about rain, but going into rain and experiencing it is something different. Same thing with love. Unless you're loved, you experience that love, you won't be able to understand what love is. Similarly, Jesus knew this, and that he wanted us to experience his love and his life moving in us. His love moving in us. And that's why he says, I give you my body as the real bread, my drink as the real drink. People experiences build faith. Yes, my dear friends. So what is your experience? Once there was a skeptical guy who said, how can you think of bread and wine turn into wine? Bread and wine turn into Christ, speaking of the Eucharist. And then the priest said, you eat food, you change food into your own body and blood. Similarly, then the extreme fellow, he would not give up. So what did he ask? How can the entire Christ be in a small host? How can the entire Christ, the Lord, the creator of the universe, how can he be in a small host? And the priest said, you go and stand on a high elevated plane and you see the landscape, you see everything in front of it, but it fits into your little eye. Is it not true? Same way, he said. This he would not give up, this guy skeptic, and he said, how can the same Christ be present in all and at the same time? The priest again said, he took a mirror and let him see his face in it, and then he dropped the mirror and mirror broke into pieces, and then he started seeing his face in all the mirror pieces. So similarly he said, yes, there is only one of you, but you still can see your face in all at the same time. Yes, my dear brothers and sisters, we need to experience this love, this sacrament, the Eucharist. Only then we can get transformed. My dear friends, spend time with the Eucharist and you will change. And people have changed. So many people have changed, and you will change as well. Let us